Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to get lost and telling her that her pregnancy is not my problem? My 32 male have a sister Andrea, 27 female. The issue is that they have always showed her more preference. And although I was not badly treated, they hardly paid any attention to me. Because she's the golden child, I suppose. She herself treated me with disdain. Before our parents died, they left everything for her instead of splitting it with me in the will. I knew that she herself had been behind this. My parents literally told me, Andrea talked to us about how she's more deserving, and we can see how that makes sense. Do you have any objection to us giving everything to her? After all, you're older and should be more understanding, etc. I was disappointed, but just told them that I don't care and did not argue. That was a while ago. She got into some issue and had to mortgage the house, and squandered the wealth over a period of time. As she requires help now, she turned to me and asked me to help her. She's also pregnant right now. I refused and told her that I don't want anything to do with it, and that is not my problem. But she pleaded and cried so much that I felt bad. But I told her that she's got to reap what she's sown, and that is just karma getting back to her. In the end, she told me, I know how to tarnish your reputation by using this very pregnancy. In the end, I asked her to get lost and kicked her out of my house. She had shown up there to ask for help. I wonder whether I did anything, well, wrong, as she is my sister after all. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You do you. She's just going to have to figure life out herself. Thanks. It's just some people said that she's my family after all, and I got wondering. Family is an F word if it's used to abuse others. You shouldn't feel obligated to continue bailing her out. Not the a-hole. Your sister screwed you over and now wants your help? She's so used to being the golden child and getting her way that she actually thought you would favor her too. Unbelievable. My sister is also the golden child and has lied over the decades to my parents, resulting in their rejection of me. In my opinion, this is a form of murder. Like her sister, she stole my parents from my life. There is nothing okay about this. I totally get your frustration, and I'm very sorry you lost her family this way. But this is not inherently your sister's fault. It's your parents for raising the two of you this way. In the end, it's them who created this situation, by creating the monster that she is and letting her do the things she did. Not the a-hole. It sounds like she's used to having someone to bail her out, and now that your parents are gone, she expects you to take their place, especially since she has made a series of bad decisions. I suspect that even if you said just this once, if you did help her out, you would be opening the door to her constantly asking you for more and more. Exactly this. My older sister is the same way. Dad bailed her out of everything. Now that he's gone, she expects everyone else to fix her problems. She actually blamed me for not being able to keep her cat for her when I donated a kidney to another sister. Some people are just awful and not worth giving space in your brain. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my bully I feel no sympathy for her? There's this one girl, 17 female at school, who just got diagnosed with terminal cancer. She would bully me, 17 male, since I was 13. Usually just call me names and make snide remarks. But one time, she made fun of my dead mother, which is the one that stuck in my head for so long. It was constant and relentless bullying and made me feel low and inferior. She stopped at 16. My guess was because her father died in a car accident and realized how she made me feel, though she never apologized. So she got terminal cancer and made some big posts on her social media and got lots of attention. When she saw me in school, she was tearful and apologized for how she treated me. Honestly, I feel nothing. I said, I don't accept your apology, nor do I offer you my sympathies, and walked away. I could hear her cry even more. My friend agreed with what I did, but all her friends gave me grief. I try to ignore them when I see them, but they just come at me like rabid animals and say stuff that I should say sorry and that I'm an a-hole. When her mother confronted me on what I said, telling me that I should have at least offered sympathy because she's dying, I only said, just means I no longer need to deal with her, then blocked them all on social media. I don't know. Maybe I was too harsh? But if I'm being honest, I don't feel sympathy for her. I worked through my resentment with a therapist, and honestly, I feel nothing for her. No hatred, but no sympathy either. When she dies, it will just be another day for me. Maybe this makes me an a-hole, but I can't help how I feel, and I spoke what I've felt, just as she did. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She was cruel to you for years. You are under no obligation to accept her apology or offer sympathy. We are in the fool around and find out era, and people need to realize there will always be consequences for their actions. Also, all these people giving YTA votes for what you said to her mother, which isn't even what you're asking judgment for, are wrong. This woman is also bullying you. Obviously, her daughter learned this behavior from somewhere, and I'm gonna say it was probably from mom. Yeah, their worlds have changed drastically over the last year, but that doesn't mean you automatically have to give them any sympathy or forgiveness. And as one commenter said, maybe she should have parented her child better. If either of them or her friends continue to harass you, especially in school campus, report every single one of them to the admin. When I was in high school, a family member who I despised because she was a truly evil person passed away slowly and painfully from cancer. It wasn't a death I'd wish on anyone. That said, I wasn't sad she was gone, and that felt wrong to me, like I should at least think good of her now. When I expressed all that to my mom, she said something that has stuck with me to this day. Just because someone dies, even if they die in a terrible way, it doesn't suddenly mean they were a good person. Similarly, this girl is suffering something awful, and it's tragic. But that doesn't automatically mean she's forgiven for everything she's done. There was a guy in high school who died after he was hit by a car, and the entire school, tiny charter school, made a huge deal about it. Offered kids time off for grieving, even had a candlelight vigil. I think his parents set up a scholarship in his name. Kids were acting distraught at the loss of poor Adrian. But to be honest, the guy was a jerk. He hated most of those kids at our high school. It was intentionally irritating to most people. He had extreme beliefs, which were fine, but loved berating people over things like commercialism if they bought a soda. The night he died, he was hanging out with his college friends. They threw his glasses into the road, and somehow he thought it was a good idea to walk blindly into the road if speed limit 45 to go get them. An old lady hit him going 35, and he died. So like just a stupid way to die. It is tragic his life ended early. I think he might have gone on to do some good things. But I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't crying at a candlelight vigil for his soul. I wasn't wearing black armband in remembrance. It's like, yeah, that sucks. Not the a-hole. Someone who is truly sorry would accept that you do not forgive her. She wouldn't tattle to her friend/mom if she was truly contrite. You owe her nothing. It's not like you went out of your way to shove it in her face. As a matter of fact, you never even retaliated when her father died. Having terminal cancer doesn't absolve anyone of being an a-hole. And the bully made sure to apologize very publicly with tears, and an audience ready to clap at her amazing act of being so mature. It's almost as if the girl doesn't care about OP at all, but instead saw an opportunity to make a scene and get a shower of cookies. I believe in apologizing publicly if the offense was also public. But apologizing is about taking accountability for your actions. The bully just made a scene and put OP in yet another crap show. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother that it's only his son's fault that he was injured? My 41 male nephew Ian, 9 years old, visited us for Thanksgiving a while back. He was accompanied with his parents and children, including Ian. I have a bulldog in my house, which they know about. I told the kids to stay away from it, which they agreed to. It doesn't like strangers, and I did not want to take any chances. As they had said fine, well, I did not bother about it again until the incident happened. Ian walked towards his doghouse and began to yell and tease it. He apparently got so near him that the dog bit him and injured his hand. He screamed, and it attracted our attention. We rushed out and took him away. The dog was chained, but he was still barking. We took him to the hospital, and everything was confused as my sister-in-law was scared as well, including Ian's older sister. My brother David, 44 male, now accused me by saying that it's my dog and that I should pay the bills now. I refused, saying that I'd warned them and that it's Ian's fault. But he said that doesn't matter as it was my dog. We got into an argument and he threatened to sue me later and said I already know that he can't afford the best lawyers as he himself is one. I told him I am not doing it, but should I have? It's my dog and I am his uncle, so should I have paid? Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Personally, as a Canadian, I don't think you're the a-hole, but I really don't know how much that would cost. 9 years old is old enough to know better and he was warned. It's just I had warned him. I'm not happy he was injured, obviously, but it sounds really unfair to expect me to pay when I had told him before. The child and his parents learned an important lesson that day. Keep your distance from dogs you aren't familiar with, especially when the dog is in a safe space, indoor cage, or doghouse. Ian had a fool around and found out rating of 7 that day. He's lucky it wasn't his face. Not the a-hole. You warned him. He didn't listen. Parents should watch their own child if he wants to meet the dog. My ex used to tease my grandma's cat. Not maliciously, it was playful. But when the cat would lay down in her box, she was done. Tell me why I had to repeatedly tell this 20-plus-year-old man why he needed to leave the cat alone when she was in her box. He wasn't one of my best decisions. Not the a-hole. Even without a warning, teasing a chained dog is an a-hole move. I completely disagree with people who say 9 is too young to understand this. 9 is plenty old, especially in combination with the warning you gave. But seriously, even without a warning, a 9-year-old should know better. Your brother sounds like a serious a-hole. He's threatening to sue you? Jesus. The dog was a hazard limited to one part of the yard, with warning provided to all. At that point, it becomes no different than any other geographical defined hazard, like a cliff edge or a river or a pit. If an adult is to blame, it is the child's parents for not supervising their child. If a child walked off a cliff that the parents knew about, who would you blame? The first dog I lived with was a wolf/husky cross. While my parents' dog was friendly, it was also very big. We grew up learning to read doggy body language, and by age of 3 years knew when to leave the dog alone. We were also explicitly told by my parents' friends when to stay away from their dogs. Had we been bit, none of the dogs would have been blamed. In fact, my father's first question would have been, "Why were you pestering the dog?" Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom if she acknowledges her grandson, I won't talk to her anymore? I, 28 female, have a brother Elijah, 24 male, I do not speak with. I consider him dead to me. He molested my sister, has allegedly violated multiple women, and went to jail for a vague child exploitation charge, which we all presume is kiddie porn, since he's been caught multiple times talking to minors. My parents still talk to him for some ungodly reason. Last night, my father called me to say, "You're an aunt." When pressed, he said Elijah has a 1-year-old he just got the paternity tests back from. I said, "Then no the heck I'm not." Dad pressed, and I responded more firmly, "No, I am not an aunt." My parents know my sister Ruth, 21 female, and I do not have a relationship with this man, and actively hate him. My other sister has a very distant follow on Instagram kind of relationship with him. My mom got into a fight with Ruth, who called me in hysterics, because she and my other sister weren't excited about this baby. Elijah has admittedly beaten me to everything. He got a car first, that my parents paid for. He got married and divorced first, among other things. He has gleefully made a point to beat me to life milestones. I'm engaged and planning on having children a year or so from now, and I've always wanted to have the first grandchild. That is where I think I might be the a-hole. Perhaps my judgment is clouded with bitterness. I told my mother if she acknowledges this baby as her grandchild, I will no longer have a relationship with her, and my children will not have a relationship with her. To me, I can pretend she doesn't still have a relationship with Elijah if it's behind closed doors and she keeps her mouth shut about it. But if she allows this child to come and go in her life, she is openly recognizing her relationship with Elijah, and I can't forgive that. I am too protective of Ruth, and I feel like she's choosing this evil man over her other 4 children, one of which is still a minor. My fiancé and I have made it very clear in the past that Elijah will come nowhere near our family. And if she acknowledges his son, she is letting him into her life openly, and we cannot tolerate that. It is both a protection of our future children and a respect for Ruth. I am tired of thinking about my mother's feelings first, and always letting her get her way. I am putting my foot down on this. Am I the a-hole? Edit. It's not even about the baby. It is about allowing Elijah another foothold back into this family. My family has a tendency to forget all past crimes once a cute baby is around. Elijah will be allowed to slip back into our lives, endangering my minor sibling and all children my siblings and I have. Yes, I'm horrible for harboring resentment against an innocent baby. But it's not even about the baby. I cannot and will not allow my sibling to be hurt, or have Ruth be subject to my parents' indifference to her pain. She has already made a choice to not come home for Christmas over this. I would actually start by calling CPS and telling them your monster of a brother had a child, and you fear for the safety of the child. That kid is not at fault and should have nothing to do with it. Your goal should be getting that kid away from his dad and making sure baby mama knows what kind of person your brother is. You should bond with that kid just to make sure it's safe and okay. That doesn't mean you have any interaction with your brother. My brother violated me as well. He had a daughter. I reported him and told his wife and called CPS. The courts forced his rights to be removed and out a lifelong protection order. His daughter will never be forced to deal with him. It wasn't a quick process to get his rights removed. It took time, but it was successful. If he has gone to jail for child exploitation, he probably had to register as an offender. CPS and the child's mother definitely need to know this. I hope either the baby mama or the grandparents get full custody, with no visitation from this guy. If he likes girls and it is a baby girl, she's in danger of her being violated. If he likes girls and it is a baby boy, he will be raised to be just like his father. And take a giant leap back from this dumpster fire. I wouldn't bother with the ultimatum. Your parents are enabling someone who has done some truly horrific things. That makes them just as bad in my book. They clearly see no problem, so it's a lose-lose situation. I fear for that child, but it isn't a scenario that OP needs to be involved in. Plus, OP, do you really want to be around people like this? Would you want your future kids around this? I have spent many years, including before I found out about Elijah, wanting to cut contact with my parents. They have treated all of us like trash over the years. I said I would be out when my youngest sister graduated high school, and then they adopted my youngest brother when I was 19. Now I'm torn between going no contact and losing the brother I adore and maintaining this relationship from a distance for another 9 years. All I have ever wanted is loving parents, and I've been a fool to think they would ever change. I wanted my children to have grandparents. I love my grandparents. I wanted that for them.